welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It is Challenger Scorpion game. It's 1850 points. Matt Saxby's come down today with a brand new Eldar army, and they will be taking on the might of the Tyranids. So it'll be fascinating to see this clash take place. Both sides think they're in with a chance, but they'll be fighting across this urban terrain here. It's the scene of many a fight. It's abandoned by the Imperium, and no wonder Eldar are in the area, and so are the Tyranids. So it'll be across this terrain these two armies will do battle. Right, so 1850 points of Tyranids here to try and take on the Eldar. So standard force organisation, there's no formations here in this army. 2 lictors, that was a spare 100 points at the end. 2 venom thropes, their individual choices there. 1 Trigon Prime, then 1 Exocrine, then a Hive Crone, 6 Raveners, nice fast unit there, then 30 Gaunts with a Turbigon. Those 30 Gaunts means the Turbigon can be taken as a troop's choice. That's the 2 troops filling out the army just there. 1 Morlock as well. So, then a Winged Hive Tyrant here. He's the commander. Electroshock grubs for him. That's the Haywire template weapon. And then he also has the wings upgrade. For psychic powers, we have rolled those up. He's got Paroxysm and then Psychic Scream. Psychic Scream down here as well for the Turbigon. Then the second in command here, wings for him as well. Twin Link Devours and Brain Leech Worms for that Winged Hive Tyrant. And he has the Horror and Warp Blast. And then this is the commander here, Master of Ambush, rolled up on strategic traits for his Warlord ability, and that is him and 2 other units, non-vehicle units of his choice, have the Infiltrate special rule. So that's the list there for the Tyranids. It's sort of a monster-themed army, so plenty of monsters there for them to call upon. We haven't played Tyranids versus Eldar for a long, long time, so looking forward to this one here. We'll take a look and see what Matt Saxby has brought down. Okay, so Matt Saxby's come down. He's appeared on the channel before in our Apocalypse games and other challenge the Scorpion matches, but a new army here has been working very hard. Just off the painting desk has finished this army here. So it's Eldar, but with some Dark Eldar leanings for sure, as you can see displayed here on this Wraith Knight. But he's going to run through what he's got in his list.
This is my 1850 points. We're going to start with a standard force organisation chart. So we've got Farseer, who's on a jet bike, and she has rolled Eldritch Storm, Mind War and Doom for her psychic powers. For her Warlord trait, she's got Strategic Genius, so +1 to seize the initiative and reroll reserves. Then for my 2 troops choice, I've got 2 units of Eldar jet bikes. They're all armed with scatter lasers. 1 has been upgraded to a Warlock, and he rolled Conceal Reveal for his psychic power. And then we've got a Crimson Hunter for fast attack, who's been upgraded to be an Exarch. And then for Lord of War, for the standard CAD, we've got a Wraith Knight who's armed with Ghost Glaive and Scatter Shield. Okay, then the first formation, we've got a Dire Avenger Shrine, which is 3 units of Dire Avengers, 1 of which has been upgraded to an Exarch. They're all in a Wave Serpent. All the Wave Serpents have been upgraded to have Twin Link Bright Lance, and their formation gives them +1 ballistic skill all the time, and obviously all the standard Dire Avenger special rules. And then we've got the Aspect Host, which is 3 units of Aspect Warriors. So I've gone for 1 unit of Fire Dragons. 1 has been upgraded to be an Exarch with Fire Pike, and they are in a Wave Serpent with Twin Link Bright Lance. And then I've gone for 2 units of Eldar Warp Spiders. 2 have been upgraded to Exarch, which are these 2, and there's been no other upgrades given to them. For the formation, I've given them +1 ballistic skill.
So that's the list there for the Eldar. Interesting combination, couple of formations there, some jet bikes, nice spread of units, and then this very unique Wraith Knight here as well. But Web Wraiths, they're called. They patrol the webway with close links to the Dark Eldar. Fascinating colour scheme, very nice indeed. But how well they'll do against the Tyranids, we'll have to see. We're going to scenario and deployment next. Right, so the scenario is the scouring. 6 objectives on the table. We don't know the values of them yet. Those will be revealed after forces have been deployed. But Tyranids will be at this end of the table. Matt chose the other side, but Tyranids have won the roll-off, so they will get to go first unless the Eldar can seize the initiative. So 12 inches in here for the Tyranids, and then 12 inches the other side for the Eldar. Objectives, one just here. Again, we don't know the value of these. Objective number 1 is just up there, next to the statue. One down here next to the flak gun. There is actually one just here, just inside Tyranid deployment zone there. And then around the other side, there's one just here in the ruin, inside Eldar deployment zone. You can see their string of dice running along there. And then another objective just there. So a heavier amount of objectives on the left-hand side. I think that's why Matt went for this deployment zone. There's 2 objectives you can grab pretty quick. And then Tyranid is definitely in a more exposed position along here. But we'll go on to deployment. So Tyranids will deploy first here, and then the Eldar. Right, so this battle mat here, it's by GameMat.eu. It's called Wasteland. They produce a number of 6x4 battle mats. So sort of a rough ground kind of pattern. Then we put the terrain on top, the rocks and stones and lichen just there. So it's like a mouse mat material. Then another material on top, which they print the design there, and then nice and friendly for figures if they fall over, any fine cast or lead figures. Nice and soft, so you won't get that chipping that can happen on other types of boards. And then also very nice and quiet for rolling dice as well. But you can check them out, it's GameMat.eu. They produce this mat, a load of others, and also terrain for Warhammer 40,000 and other gaming systems as well. Alright, so deployment done. This left-hand side quite empty for the Tyranids, just taking advantage of the cover here, securing this objective straight away. It's a Tervagon here, 30 gaunts, and then a Venom rope is just anchoring that position there, which is granting shrouded to all of these units. Morlock just at the back, and then Tervagon or Trigon Prime, another Venom rope, Raveners, and then the Exocrine is just anchoring the right-hand side. So Tyranids deploying in strength. That's because there's an objective there, and there's 2 objectives dead ahead of them in amongst the ruins. You reckon the cover's sort of the best place for them to go. Sticking together, don't want them getting picked off on their own. Then infiltrators here. Now we should go first, but with Matt's Warlord trait, he'll seize initiative on a 5+ here, and then +1 on reserve rolls as well, I believe, for him also. So just bearing in mind that risk that the initiative could be taken here by the Eldar. We've deployed just about 6 inches ahead with infiltrate, Master of Ambush, Warlord trait being used. That keeps us within shrouded there of the Venom rope just behind the ruin. Then around here, Eldar have deployed their Wave Serpents set up along here. 1, 2, 3 jet bikes here and here, and then this Wave Serpent with the Fire Dragons, okay, and then the Wraith Knight out the front. So that means just come across here for reserves. Coming on from reserve here, the Crimson Hunter. These guys are inside their Wave Serpent transport. They're inside their Wave Serpents, the Dire Avengers, and then deep striking down with the 2 units of Warp Spiders. Just deployment done. The 2 armies definitely squaring up against each other here. Eldar sticking together, Tyranids sticking together as well instinctively. They're sensing the presence of an enemy nearby, so their instincts begin to take over. They cluster together and await the coming fight. So looking forward to this one. 2 very interesting armies about to clash on this abandoned Imperial sector. But we'll go on to the first turn of the game. We'll ask if you want to seize initiative. Imagine you do. Yeah, I would. So 5+ he will. The Tyranids don't want this to happen, but it's doable. 5 or 6 is certainly doable. It was a 3. No. Okay. So we will go on to the first turn of the game. Tyranids, they plan to go first. They will go first. The Master of Ambush is about to spring his trap. Alright, so on to turn 1 here. About to make a move with the Tyranids. There's no night fighting, by the way. We've got a plan. We'll see if we can pull it off here to start proceedings. We'll go on to movement here for the Tyranids. I reckon both sides stand a chance. There is a Wraith Knight on the table, but the Tyranids still, there's plenty of monsters for them as well. So we'll press onto their moves, see what they do. Right, so movement for the Tyranids here on turn 1. Flyers have moved out, we'll cover those in just a moment. Done a couple of run moves here. Venom Throats ran and moved a total of 7 inches into the ruin just there. 9 inches with these gaunts. Run move finished for them. These 7 as well for their run move. Maybe a bit further, 8 inches actually for those. Haven't done the run move here for the Tervagon. She's just moved up. 4 inches moved here. Exocrine 4 inches. As well, and then Venom Throat rolled a 6, pushing ahead. And then the beasts here, just ignoring cover, moving up behind the ruins. So Tyranids claiming this area here. They'll make use of that cover, and the Venom Throat's granting the shrouding to all of the units here. They're all covered by that shrouding 6-inch bubble. Flyers around the other side have taken to the skies. Hive Crone, maybe going to struggle for targets. She's moved to here. And then across here, the 2 winged Hive Tyrants. Quite cinematic, the look. They've moved out. Maximum move, 24 inches, heading off towards the Eldar in this direction. So that's movement done. So a defensive block there, you can see occupying the buildings over there, and the Flyers have been sent out to terrorise the Eldar from above. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next for the Tyranids. Potential for them to do some damage. We'll see how well they do. Right, so Psychic Phase done. Tried to play Warp Blast here from him at that Wave Serpent and failed to get that off. Rolling up 3 dice and failed. Then Psychic Scream did go off. Chance there to damage the Wraith Knight. Sneaky plan, but it didn't work. We passed it on 2, but then Matt blocked it, rolling 3 6s. So well done there. That's blocked that psychic power from coming through. So ineffective here for the Tyranids on their first turn. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next, see if they can do well this time around with their shooting. Right, so Shooting Phase, we're going to start here. Fire at these jet bikes. So 12 shots. Matt's not going to jink, there's no point. It's 3+ armor save anyway. We're twin linked, so we can re-roll these. Even 3s. So 10 coming through. Be 2s to wound. And that's the wounds coming through.
2s out.
Just there, sorry, 2 wounds, yeah. No, nice high strength there. So that is 8 saves required of 3+. I don't think it'd be enough to bring them down, but should cause some damage. Let Matt roll up. Oh, some good dice rolling. Oh, that's good dice rolling. Very good indeed. Just 1, not even a morale test there. So excellent. The armour holding very, very well on the jet bikes indeed. Right, so shooting finished here. Draw cannon, Matt didn't jink, did get a 6 though, so it's a whole point caused on there. And then the electroshock grubs, ignoring cover, a whole point caused with a haywire hit coming through. So that's shooting finished. It's not too impressive. Well, Tyranids have hit their targets well, but excellent dice rolling down here has preserved this jet bike squad, and they haven't jinked as well, so we'll be able to fire at full effect to ground targets. So most of the Eldar force here preserved intact as they prepare to respond to the Tyranid assault from the skies, and then consider how to deal with the Tyranids strongly established in the ruins here. How to weed all those out, the Eldar will hatch a plan. So turn 1 finished for the Tyranids. We'll go on to the first turn now for the Eldar. Just to mention the value of the objectives here. It's an interesting roll-up that we've got. 2 points for this one. 1 point for here, so don't expect much to happen on this objective. 4 points for this objective next to the flak gun. This objective that the Tyranids hold is worth 2, so it's worth holding that to some degree. But 2 3-point objectives are in the ruins across the way here. 1 just there and 1 there. So definitely an incentive for the Tyranids to assault this area and for the Eldar to defend it. Then also the 4-point objective. So this area of the table will probably see the most vicious of fighting. But we'll go on to the first turn now for the Eldar. No doubt they have a plan. We'll see how they execute it. Right, so on to movement for the Eldar here. It's interesting, the game's broken down into 2 aspects for them to deal with. We've got the Flyers, which are a scourge to many an army. James will testify to that. He's here observing today as well. And then this block here lodged in the ruins. Quite difficult to wheedle those out, but I think really the flyers are causing the main distraction at the moment. Eldar holding position here with this wave serpent, shifting across with the other. So there's 1, 2, 3 of them here, all armed with twin link bright lances. Maybe to pick out some wounds here on the flyers, and then jet bikes here as well, pulling back and getting ready to shoot as well. There's a lot of firepower available for them. Wraith Knight though has his own plans. He's moved forwards 12 inches to there, heading straight for the Tyranids. If anyone can clear out Tyranids from buildings, it would be the the Wraith Knight would be able to do it with that big meat cleaving sword. So that is movement phase done. We're going to psychic phase next for the Eldar on their first turn. Right, so concealed cast here, that was right at the end, just on 1 die spare. Cast from here onto these guys, so they've got shrouded. The main power was Mind War. It was cast on him, but we blocked it there. We needed 5s and 6s to block because we're a psyker. So that is psychic phase done. Bit of a psychic battle going on. Tyranids Eldar, you'll see a fair bit of that, I reckon, in this game. There's 3 psykers on the table for the Tyranids and 2 for the Eldar. So psychic phase finished. We'll go on to shooting phase next for the Eldar on their first turn. Alright, so shooting phase here. Struggling really, just snap shooting up against the flyers. Loads of shots coming through. It's twin link shuriken catapults from here. Bright lances firing up. All of this section fired up against him. And in total, there's a number of hits coming through, but 1 wound and an AP2 shuriken hit coming through. We didn't jinx, so wound taken. We'll do a grounding test for him now. Just have a bad feeling about this. Don't roll 1 or a 2. We do roll a 1. So crashing down from the sky, the winged tyrant, the second in command, comes down. Not so good. Might be that might be a wound as well. We'll figure that out in just a moment. Here, no damage on him, and then no damage against the hive crone. That's all shooting done. No shots at all coming in this direction against these Tyranids here. Matt's priority is to deal with the flying Tyranids that are harassing the Eldar at the moment. They do have the speed to move out later on anyway, plus all their reserves to arrive. So that is the shooting phase finished. We'll just figure out what's happened here with the grounding test, and then we'll go on to assaults. Alright, so she's come down there. Well, wound taken, so half dead. There's only 4 wounds on those things. So that is shooting phase finished. Onto assaults. There's just 1 assault really. It's down here. 9 inches Matt will need to reach the gaunts that are down here. Just going to try and flush out the first unit. So let him roll up. If he scores a 9, he's in. If he scores a 9, he's in. Alright, so we have a melee here. Wraith Knight's going to take on the gaunts. Alright, so charges have gone ahead here. We're just reactive of our initiative step, just moving out there with the gaunts to there, so surrounded. They don't stand much of a chance. Maybe at a bog the gargantuan monstrous creature down, but we'll see. We'll go on to combat resolution next for the Eldar.
5?
Yes, Hammer of Wrath first of all.
Oh, yeah, Hammer of Wrath.
Here's a wound. No, we found, so that's 1 of them kicked over, as exhibited here on the sculpting on the model. So a gaunt's booted and launched a good few 100 yards off in this direction by the foot of the Wraith Knight here. Their initiative 5 just ignores cover entirely, I think, going through. Yeah, so strike with your attacks now. The big meat cleaver. There's triple 1, but 2 hits coming through. So 2s to annihilate them.
Strength D.
Double 1. Right, weird results here. I need to switch it on. There's an on button on this thing, so it's activated now. So stomps will be relying upon now. So D3 stomps, and it's just a stomp coming down. So he's going to catch about 4. Yeah, so 4's the maximum there. She rolls a 1, so lucky escape here. So bizarre dice rolling. The Wraith Knight he's kicked 1 gaunt and then jumped around trying to hit others. That's what happens when you're so tall. It's a long way down to look and you can't see them. They're moving around his feet very quickly. He's desperately trying to stamp them, but failing here at the moment. And he's forgotten to switch his electric blade on as well. So it's not going well for the Wraith Knight at this stage. But we'll see. It is early in the morning for him. It's been an early start for the Wraith Knight. But we'll see how well he does. He needs to just if he gets a decent round of stomps and then just plasters them, they'll be removed pretty fast. But I'll have to wait till another round of combat. We'll go on to Turn 2 now for the Tyranids as they press on with their air attack, and then try and figure out how the rest of their army can deal with this Wraith Knight. Right, let's move the Tyranids on the second turn here. We've bred 14 gaunts with no doubles, so she's a good breeder here, churning out another 14 of them. They're mustering and getting ready to prepare to charge into combat here. It could be a potential tar pit here for the Wraith Knight. He may get bogged down, but it all depends on the dice rolls here for stomps and attacks and so on. So just holding ground here with the Tervagon. She's happy just to breed in the corner of the ruin just there. These have moved out. We've done a run move for them. Total of 6 inches moved out with this unit of 30 gaunts, just heading off potentially towards the 3-point objective over there. This cluster of units, the Raveners, Venomthrope, Trigon Prime and Exocrine all holding position, making use of the cover. I just think the Eldar are a bit distracted at the moment by other events taking place across the table. So Hive Crone has turned, jumped up and over, did a Vector Strike. Matt did Jink and saved a glancing hit from coming through. Just clarifying the rules there, we just checked. We thought it might have been Ignore's cover, and it is. So that glancing hit does come through. So a whole point caused on this wave. So I'm just gradually trying to pick away at them. So the situation here, you've got a wave 7 with whole points each across here. This one's moved, 12, still in flight mode. Gone back into flight mode here, half dead though with this Winged Hive Tyrant, 12 inches in this direction. And then Morlock, we tried to land here, it would have been a good target to go after, but scattered across in this direction here, 7 inches away. So that attack has failed. It's a bit hit and miss with that unit. Sometimes does brilliantly. Other times when it scatters, does no damage and then is vulnerable to attack. But that is movement done for the Tyranids. So it's a headache here for the Eldar at the moment. It's been an early start for them. They've got a headache as they've woken up trying to take the Tyranids on, trying to deal with these flyers which are harassing them from the skies. It's keeping their focus away from the bulk of the Tyranid army here. But blow for blow, both sides dishing out damage. We'll press on to Psychic Phase now for the Tyranids on their second turn. So on to Psychic Phase here. Matt reckons he's got a plan, some way to counter the Tyranid. It's pretty clear what the Tyranids are trying to do. The art of distraction here at the moment and harassing the Eldar from the skies, trying to preserve the bulk of the force clustering together. But remember, Matt does have his own flyer to arrive, a Crimson Hunter, an expert at hunting down enemy flyers, and then also Warp Spiders, 2 units of them to turn up who knows where on the table as well. We're going to Psychic Phase now for the Tyranids on turn 2. Alright, so Psychic Phase done. There's a real mind war going on here in this game. We put all of our dice into Psychic Scream, so Nova Power. It could have caused a lot of trouble, but Deny the Witch. Matt, both of these units here are Psychers, or have a Psyker inside, so it's 5s or 6s to block, and he blocked it, so that power will not go off, and that means the Psychic Phase has been uneventful here for the Tyranid. So real battle of minds going on here, Psyker versus Psyker, nullifying each other's effects. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next for the Tyranids on turn 2. So, Shooting Phase here, the Winged Hive Tyrant, second in command, will fire his Twin Link Devours and Brain Leech Worms at this squad here, trying to harass them, try and do better than last time. So we're on 3s for hits Twin Linked, almost a full house for them, and then we'll be on 2s to wound. There's pressure here for saves. Oh dear, imagine if we had rending. So it's actually this unit here, we're going after the unit that isn't shrouded. These are shrouded. They cast the shrouding onto them. Their jink would be 2+. So it's over here, we're after 3+ regular armor saves here to bring them down. So rolling up here, 1s and 2s not good. There's some coming through. 5.
Yeah, that's them all.
Is it 1 wound only with the Warlock? Yes, I believe it is. So we're looking like it's a wipeout here.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Alright, okay, it may be First Blood as well. Just looking around, it is, yeah. So Winged Hive Tyrant's done well. He's trying to get maximum use out of him. He's half dead, not sure how much longer he'll last, but he's causing trouble here for the Eldar. Unit of Jetbikes wiped out, but his Twin Linked Devours and Brain Leech Worms. So shooting resolved here, run moves, we'd already incorporated that in, nothing moving or shooting from here, so that's that completed. Draw cannon here, technically we're on side armour, so failed to cause any damage there. Rolled a 5, needing a 6, and just holding our tentaclids for now. Then across here, the electroshock grubs causing a haywire hit here, rolling a 1 on this one, so no damage done on that wave of 7. So they're all carrying 1 hull point each at the moment. We saw the destruction here from the Winged Hive Tyrant, and that marks the end of the Shooting Phase. We did fall back here, 5 inches, a run move done with the Morlock, just trying to stay out of trouble. So Shooting Phase finished. We'll go on to Assaults. Really, it's just the ongoing combat there with the Wraith Knight. We'll try and charge in here with these gaunts to try and add them into the mix. Alright, so combat's going ahead here. You can see the gaunts swarming in. We did roll low, 4 inches, but moved through cover, got us into combat, no problem. So this is the fresh squad here, and then the other squad is just around there. We'll go into combats now. Nothing the gaunts can do, but their instinct keeping them there, driven on by the hive mind to lock down the Wraith Knight. We'll go into combats next. Alright, so combat's resolved here. Interesting twist. 2 gaunts hacked down. Then another 6 were killed with a stomp attack here. Matt rolled up 3. So the second one, he moved out into here and it just clipped him. Strength 6 AP4 and a wound taken. And then the third one, he moved more inches into both of these. A chance to destroy them if he rolled a 6, but rolled a 1. Lucky escape this time around. But there's potential danger there for the Tyranids. The stomp attacks do have some range to them, even if he is locked down in combat. Problem is we need to stay nearby to feed the units in. So Tervagon may have to back up a little bit here. She's thought she was safe, but she's actually a bit close to danger. That marks the end of the turn. Tyranids prevailing here mostly at the moment. Seems to be going their way currently, but things could so easily change. We'll go on to the second turn now for the Eldar. We'll see if reserves turn up, and then we'll see how well they cope with the Tyranid flyers still harassing them from the skies, and then this threat, or this dug-in Tyranid position over here. It's early stages yet. We'll go on to Eldar turn 2. Right, so moving for the Eldar here, still trying to deal with these Tyranid flyers, and there's Morlock as well. The Fire Dragons are disembarked. They're going to go monster hunting here. They're going to go after the Morlock. Jetbike's just backing off slightly, and then just manoeuvring here with these Wave Serpents, disembarking, moving, disembarking here, moving, spinning, passing dangerous terrain, and disembarking there as well. So you can start firing with their Avenger shuriken catapults. A bit BS5, these guys, with their formation, so some pretty accurate shooting potential from them. And then Assault 2 as well, looking at 10 shots each for these units. Then moving, disembarking here as well to start bringing down gaunts. So Matt deploying infantry units to start firing at multiple targets. Warp Spiders have stayed off. Double 1 rolled up there for their reserve roll, so they're not going to arrive. I think Matt's happy with that. And then the Flyer hasn't arrived either, so reserves being held off at this stage. A bit deceptive this game. The Eldar still have reserve units to call upon, so you can expect more of them to turn up, but it won't be this turn. Turn 2 movement finished. We're going to Psychic Phase next for the Eldar on turn 2. Psychic Phase here, and it's been much more effective from the Eldar. So Doomcast on him, that was the last power to go off. I didn't have any dice to stop it. We tried to block Mind War. Yet again, a Mind War going on here in this game, and 4 wounds put on the Morlock there. Nothing we could do to stop that. Tried to block it but failed, so he's taken a heavy amount of damage there in the Psychic Phase. Pretty effective there from the Eldar. I think Matt's happy with that. We'll go on to Shooting Phase next for them as they try to deal with the Tyranid Flyers. So just measuring up here, everyone's within 12. He's going to try and bring down the Morlock. There's no cover at all. He just needs to get a few good hits and wounds, and then that model's removed from play. So 2s with these, yes, because they're part of the formation. 1 has missed, but 4's is good enough. 2's to kill. All of them. He doesn't have 8 wounds. The Morlock is dead. He's removed from play. So one of the monstrous creatures comes crashing down there. His mind half destroyed, and then his body melted there by the Fire Dragon's target destroyed. Okay, so rest of the Shooting Phase resolved here. 15 shots. What was the name of the special rule? For, yeah, Killing Strike it's called. They get an extra shot each. There's 3 shots each there, even at this range. Firing here and then doing a battle focus move, falling back. A load of wounds coming through. 9 of them, but failing just 1 cover save. We have 4+ cover save, and then Shrouded ability being granted to those. Caught out in the open here, the units has since fallen back with battle focus, but fire across brought down 3 of the gaunts just over there, so proving tough to get rid of. Firing here up at the winged Hive Tyrant. No damage from any of these. He was wounded by a scatterbike. Wound coming through, we rolled a 4 and passed our armour save. Then across here, better result against the Hive Crone. He was hit by Bright Lance and wounded, and we've come crashing down, taking a further wound, so 2 wounds caused on him. So we reckon the Eldar, got to be careful, if the Tyranid Flyers are taken away, this entire Eldar force can then divert its attention to the Tyranids over there. Morlock's gone, remember, he's been removed, so that's part of their striking ability gone. And then these, if they're taken away, suddenly the Tyranids become a very static force. It can be dealt with from long range. So we'll keep pressing on here with the Tyranids. I think the idea is just to keep pressing on, causing as much damage as possible. If these Flyers are removed, there will be trouble for the Tyranids. And we're just saying, Bright Lances, 1, 2, 3, 4. On average, Matt's scoring about 1 hit a turn on the Flyers, and once that does hit, we're not then jinking, so the hits going through and wounding, and then potentially causing grounded tests as well. So Tyranid Flyers doing well, but they do need to be careful. One's half dead, and now wounds coming in against the Hive Crone as well. So time's ticking away from them. They need to start bringing these vehicles and units down, otherwise they will be picked out of the sky. So Shooting Phase finished. No new charges, just this ongoing combat here with the Wraith Knight versus the Gaunts. So combat's resolved down here, pretty effective. The blade striking this unit here, bringing a number of the Gaunts down, and then a stomp attack killing 2 more down there. Roughly we're breeding at the rate that is killing them, but if we roll double here, the breeding will stop, and then Matt will be able to chew through these pretty effectively. Just the 1 stomp rolled, so he wasn't able to go through into the units just here. So combat's resolved. We have tied him down, but we're not doing any damage to this Wraith Knight. It's just killing time, but we need to figure out a way to kill him. That's what we need to do. Not sure what resources we have to do it. Whether we can for the entire game time down in close combat. Not sure if that's possible. We'll see. We'll go on to the third turn now for the Tyranids. Potentially a couple of lictors could turn up, and that's about it. But we'll press on, continue the harassment of the Eldar force up here, realising that could come to an end at any point, and then this block of Tyranids could be in trouble. So need to press on here, not remain static, got to think of a plan and push ahead with that. So Tyranid third turn coming up next. So movement done for the Tyranids here. Their instinct is driving them forwards now to go after these objectives. So it's a 3-point objective just there, just to summarise where they are. There's an objective just here worth 3 victory points as well. Objective number 4 is currently being claimed by the Tyranids, with objectives secured with the gaunts. And then we've got objectives, a 2-pointer there, a 1-point objective just there. And not to forget, there is a 2-point objective here as well, so some incentive for the Tyranids to hang behind as well to pick that up. Armies just trying to deal with each other at the moment, but then as the turns progress, the armies will then start to focus on capturing these objectives. That's how victory can be achieved. So the tide moves here. What's left of this, there's not quite 30, they've taken some casualties. 26 of these gaunts moving forwards. We've done run moves for them as well, so they've surged ahead. Raveners, they've gone 12, haven't done a run move for them yet. Run move done for him, he's gone 6-9 after a run move. Run move done. Not done for him yet. He's moved for a cover 6 as well from there to there. His run move's done. He's gone 11 inches in total with the exocrine. Then round here, up and over with Vector Strike, a hull point taken, a glancing hit. The Serpent Shield protecting the Wave Serpent to some degree, but that's 2 hull points on him now. Then here, Lictors have turned up, just coming out of the shadows. No scatter from Deep Strike, they've arrived just there. Now the reason why they're there is there's a solid wall, so out of sight of anything on this side of the table. Breeding again, no doubles rolled, another 10 gaunt spread here by the Tervigon. She's since moved along with the Venomthrope just to here, just backing off, trying to keep the angles tight here for cover saves. We've got to be careful, there are warp spiders potentially that could turn up. Then around here the flyers have headed off in this direction, a little bit restricted just the way they can turn. They're not free to move how they please. They've headed off this way, going to focus on this Wave Serpent, Fire Dragons and the Jet Bikes just here. So not much focus on these at the moment. Movement done. Everything for the Tyranids is now on the table. All reserves have arrived. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next in this mind war of a battle. Psychic Phase done. It went well for the Tyranids who rolled up Psychic Scream. Excellent. But then Matt blocked, used the Farseer unit here to block and re-rolled there. What grants the re-roll? Runes of Fate, is it called? Yeah, it's the re-roll there. Blocked it. 5s and 6s needed and the power didn't go off. So in the Mind War there, the Eldar have staved off the Tyranid psychic attacks. So Psychic Phase done. On to shooting now for the Tyranids on their third turn. Alright, so shooting phase, going to try and take out these jet bikes here with the second in command, Winged Hive Tyrant there. He's been a real bane here upon the Eldar in this game so far. Freeze for hits. It's good shooting from him. It's a full house. 2s to wound. So that'll be 10 saves of 3+. So Matt's just going to roll them all here and then we'll work out lookout sirs once we see what kind of damage comes through.
3 and 1.
4. Okay. Alright, so just worked out lookout sir. 2 bikers are gone and then 2 wounds on the Farseer. It's a 3 wound model, so he's absorbing some of the damage. There will be a morale test for them. It's a nasty Tyranids this game, especially that Winged Hive Tyrant. Okay, one of the stronger units for the Tyranid army at the moment. So we'll continue on with shooting here for the Tyranids on turn 3. Right, so the rest of the shooting here for the Tyranids, just we've done run moves over here already. Run move done, run move of 6, run move of 6 for these as well, for the Raveners. So they're filtering through into the old cathedral here, and they've reached to there, so almost virtually on top of the objective just there. So they're now picking up those points. But it's the mid stage here Whether they'll be able to hold it, we'll have to see. Run move is already done for him. And that's about it. We've seen the shooting over here. Jet bike damage coming through. Electroshock grubs. A couple of wounds past. Armor save, heavy aspect armor. And there we roll a 1. So the haywire hit. No damage done there on the wave serpent. So I don't think we've hardly touched them this turn. All 4 of them still operational. We'll go on to assaults next. These are all still flying. Assaults here actually. Draw cannon did fire through and killed 2 of these. Morale check for them first of all, if they haven't rolled up already.
They are fine.
They're okay. Again, we're going to charge in. We'll let Matt work out his Overwatch and charge in here with the Hive Crone. Alright, so Hive Crone's made it in. Some hits coming through from Overwatch. Matt using BS2 with his defensive tactics, but no wounds coming through. The toughness 5 protecting the Hive Crone. So that's assaults moves done. We'll get some combats resolved next. Right, so combats resolved here. Just checking the rules for the gaunts, and they're not allowed to charge on the turn that they're spawned. So this unit hasn't gone into combat. And then here we worked it out. The Wraith Knights still would have been locked in combat there. Taking it that these have charged this turn, it doesn't really make much difference. The Wraith Knights still would have been locked down by the gaunts. It's not really affected the way the game's worked out. So hacking down a number of the gaunts, stomping 3 others. They're still locked in combat. There's 6 of them left, so he's still going to have to fight a way to try and free himself from them. Then down here, there's 1 each. Dire Avengers did cause a wound on the Hive Crone, failing a 4+ save, and then we killed 1 in return. So it's actually a drawn combat. The Dire Avengers hold their position. So that is combats resolved. Marks the end of the 3rd turn for the Tyranids. Still, they're harassing the Eldar. They're doing okay. But still, they need to be careful. As soon as those flyers are gone and the Eldar divert their attention onto this main force, the Tyranids could be in trouble. So they're a bit out of shape. They've got monstrous creatures over here. There's some distance away from other Eldar units, a bit spread out. And then this is a toughness 8 gargantuan monstrous creature. A lot of our attacks. They are decent enough, but they're at strength 6. So we'd need 6s to wound. So we'd struggle here with these monstrous creatures to take on large Wraith Knight. So we'll press on now. 3rd turn coming up for the Eldar as they try to get to grips with the Tyranids. Alright, so Eldar, 3rd turn. All reserves have arrived. Everything is on the table for them as well. Both units of Warp Spiders scattering, one across this way, one way back here, but arriving safely on the table, no problems. That's those arriving there. I thought that's where they might try and land, down here to harass the Tyranids from behind. Then round here, Wave Serpent still alive on the move. 1 whole point remaining, has just gone to the corner here. Dire Avengers still locked in combat against the Hive Crone. The rest have fallen back behind the sandbags just to here. Wave Serpents, one's moving out. I reckon Matt may try and use the Serpent Shield to try and kill the Venom Rope. He's just here. Matt's shots would ignore cover. Be a good way to flush him out and then take away that shrouding ability from the Tyranid units. And then over here, this one to face that way, this one facing that way, jet bikes moving off to there, and then holding position here with the Fire Dragons. Flyers turned up. Crimson Hunter has moved on. It's going to go after the winged Hive Tyrants, one of those 2. So, sensing now, with the arrival of the flyer, Tyranid flyers could be in trouble here. It's going to be interesting. Eldar force has been harassed, but for the most part is still intact. All 4 Wave Serpents still alive. They're very durable transports indeed. So the mobility of the Eldar is still there, and that makes them very dangerous. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next, see what Matt can do with his Psychic. We're just discussing here, sensing a turning point, perhaps, or a crucial moment in the game at this mid-stage. If the Eldar start to do well, they'll wrestle the game from the Tyranids. Tyranids at the moment potentially could grasp the game, but they just haven't quite done enough damage yet. So the opportunity is there for them, but Eldar, just sensing they may be able to start to turn the game in their favour. We'll see how well they do in the Psychic Phase next. Alright, so Psychic Phase done here. Mind War tried to be cast, didn't go off, and then Doom was cast, but then we blocked it there. Psycho versus Psycho, we needed 5 pluses to block. So ineffective here as the Mind War continues in this corner. See how effective shooting phase can be for the Eldar. Potentially, they could do pretty well. Roll up and see how well they do. So situation here, here's a Venom Thrope. It's sort of a key unit for the Tyranids at the moment, granting them that Shrouded. But he's in trouble. There's a Wave Serpent here, can fire its Serpent Shield, potentially. That's what Matt decides to do. There's one also up the road there that can fire as well. So it's almost a guaranteed kill against this thing. He's only got a 5+ save. Range 60 miles in range and ignores cover. That's the crucial part to that weapon. So how do you want to coordinate this, Matt? Which one are you going to do?
This one's going to fire at him first.
First. Serpent Shield?
Yep, 2d6 shots.
Okay. Double 1 would be helpful. No, 6 shots coming through. Now, it's just a question. Is this a dedicated transport for the Dire Avengers, which case you'll be BS5? Okay. So they all hit apart from 1. It's good going. And it'll be on 2s to wound or any toughness 4. Or mix it 1. 4 saves. Now, if we do save enough here, it'll force him perhaps to fire another Serpent Shield, but 5s and 6s, no. The Venom Thrope's dead. Mission accomplished here. That's all that shrouding ability. The mist begins to clear. The spore spore mist that's all over the place is beginning to, as the wind picks up, it's beginning to clear. The Tyranids are becoming more and more visible. So a bit of a cold and calculating attack there from the Eldar. Good strategy though, eliminating the Venom Thrope from play. So that's that one dealt with. Matt's just going to switch over to here now. The Crimson Hunter. Which of these 2 flying beasts? That one there. There's a bit of personal hatred towards that model, which other players have experienced as well. We will have to jink this one. This is an expert hunter here, so 2s to hit with this Exarch. I take it, it's upgrade? Yep. Yeah, okay.
So the Bright Lancers.
1 miss, 1 hit.
1 wound.
1 wound. So 1 wound coming through. Pulse Laser's going to fire now as well. Need 2s. Another miss there. 2s for a wound. Yes. 2 4-up saves. You could survive. I'm glad we jinked, that's all I can say. But 4s. No, he's gone. A key unit removed here for the Tyranids. We sensed a tipping point, a turning point potentially. This is tipping it in the right direction here for the Eldar. Good shooting from them. One of the most effective units for the Tyranids here in this particular game at the moment has now been destroyed. Crimson Hunter turning up just at the right time and destroying and bringing down that beast. So 2 monsters killed now for the Tyranids. Not too bad. Alright, so we're not going to jink here. Fire Dragon's going to fire up at the other winged Hive Tyrant. Not sure if we're going to regret this one. We'll let Matt roll up. 5 shots, needing 6s. There's a 6. He's got his hit.
That's the Exarch.
2s, yeah, it would have been the Exarch. 2s to wound here. Yes. So wound comes through, can do nothing to stop it. So that's a good result there as well. No grounded test. We're not going to roll that up yet. There's still potentially other shooting to come through from the Eldar. We'll let them press on with the rest of their shooting here on their 3rd turn. It's going well so far. So pressing on with shooting here. Snap firing come up. Battle focus moves, falling back, and then firing up in this direction. Hits coming through, but no wounds against the winged Hive Tyrant just there. Snap firing up with this transport as well. No damage from them. And that's about it. You've got scatter bikes here to do if they're going to...
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Shoot. Okay, so still not completed the shooting phase yet. Still a little bit left. This one's been shot as well. This one fired at the Raveners, and we passed a load of 5+ armor saves, but one of the models 3 wounds dealt out, so one of the Raveners killed just there. We're just around here. Matt's deciding what to do with the Warp Spiders.
These
them.
5.
I thought they might, yes, okay. The Exarch first, his twin link death spinners, if you paid for that upgrade.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so 2s. They're in, okay.
And then the rest.
2s or 3s of these guys?
2s.
2s, okay, it's a couple of misses. The Venom Thrope's going to be removed from the table very soon. His days are numbered. So 2s to wound here, rolling against initiative, strength 6. Loads of wounds. We're going to get not much in the way of save. It's AP values. AP dash, right. So that's all of these ones.
Yep.
Needed a miracle. It's not going to happen. So the shrouding ability now for the Tyranids is removed. That's a critical point here for them. All of that protection that they've enjoyed at the start of the game is now gone. So just looking off board here at the damage that's been done to the Tyranids versus the Eldar. Eldar across here, you can see they lost jet bikes here. That was quite a bad blow there, but other than that, not much at all. Now to take a look at the Tyranids. Monstrous creatures being brought down, venom ropes removed. So damage-wise, Tyranids have done some, but I reckon the Eldar have scored more damage here, hurting the Tyranids at the moment and picking off and assassinating key units. Venom ropes destroyed as a key result. Just battle focus moves going on here at the moment with the Eldar warp spiders. Alright, so shooting completed here. Just thinking about what to do with these jet bikes. It's elected to turbo boost. They've zipped off away from trouble. It's a pretty good move from them. Warp spiders, battle focus move here and here. We've seen them destroy the venom probe. These jumped 6. Battle focus move, sorry, and then fired. A number of them could fire, causing 1 wound there on the exocrine. And do we reckon that's about it? All the shooting finished? Yeah, okay. So not too bad here from the Eldar. They're starting to cause a fair amount of damage on the Tyranids. We'll go on to assaults next, just looking around to see if there's anything fresh. No, so just the ongoing melee over there with the Hive Crone. And then the ongoing melee here with the Wraith Knight. We'll roll up the results for these next. Alright, so combat's resolved down here. Sensing trouble definitely for the Tyranids. The Wraith Knight churning his way through. The models just around his base. There's just 3 of them left. And then 3 stomps he rolled up. He stomped into the awaiting brood here and wiped them out. So an excellent result there from him. Just looking around the table what we've got. I'm not sure what we have that can deal with a Wraith Knight. Even if, well, I could charge everything into him. But then that could be a vortex of doom for Tyranid units trying to charge in. Raveners could do something. They've got plenty of rending ability. Possibly. Maybe a bit too far away. We'll go on to the Tyranid 4th turn now. We'll see what they can do. Just to mention here, this melee continues. No wound here. 1 Dire Avenger killed, but Matt passing morale with them. So situation is the Wave Serpents are all still alive, as are the troops, and then they're clustering around this area. So the Eldar are still out of shape as far as the objectives are concerned, but they're doing more damage at the moment. That's the key, and they do have the speed and the maneuverability to grab these objectives towards the end of the game. It's a difficult one here for the Tyranids now. They've got to think carefully, need to pull out some kind of good move to try and rescue the situation. It is slipping now towards the Eldar in this game. We'll go on to the 4th turn though for the Tyranids. They've still got some striking power available. We'll press on to their turn next. Right, so Tyranid turn 4, just before we start moving, just to mention these, they have warp jumped, jetpack move, isn't it? So, jetpack move of these and falling back. Problem is the Tyranids now, as we decide where to go, is there's Eldar dotted about all over the place. If we go after these units, we'll end up spreading about everywhere and leaving the safety of clustering together. So do we head this way and try and deal with them? Or do we press on in this direction? Do we go over here, try and deal with the Wraith Knight? Can't divide ourselves too much. We'll have to see. We'll go on to the movement now for the Tyranids on turn 4. Right, so Tyranid turn 4. Still some fight left in this army here. Just trying to choose targets wisely here. Raveners, it was a difficult choice where to go. Need to eliminate the speed of the Eldar here. So going after this Wave Serpent, 1 whole point remaining on him. Then just pivoting with the exocrine just there, just with a view towards the warp spiders. 6 or 5 inches move through cover with the Trigon Prime. Then ongoing combat here with the Hive Crone, just there with the last Dire Avenger. Lictors have moved out. They can strike at strength 6 in close combat, so going after this Wave Serpent here. Again, trying to go after the mobility of the Eldar. Ongoing melee here. Rolled a 6 for move through cover with the Gaunts. They're going to try and reach in combat and continue to bog him down, hopefully. Can't let him go on the rampage here and just hack down one monstrous creature after another. That blade, easily good enough to destroy any of these creatures. Then here, just holding position with the Tervigon, but sadly she's run out of energy. She's done well, breeding another 9 but rolling a double, so there'll be no more babies from her in this game. But I reckon bred about 40, yeah, no, a good amount there. Bit of exaggeration there from the Eldar, I think. But a high amount for sure. Has done very well indeed. It's the 4th turn she's finally stopped breeding. So something about this hive fleet here, they're good breeders, have a reputation for doing well. So movement phase all done. The winged hive tyrants turned and flown off the table, and as he went, he grabbed one of the fire dragons, tearing off his head and leaving the limp body on the ground. Just a bit of a spiteful attack there with a vector strike. That's movement done. Psychic phase next, which will... Yeah, there is a psychic phase here actually. The Tervagon can... she's a psyker, so we'll roll on to psychic phase next. Right, so psychic phase here before rolling up. Was going to bypass it, but the Tervagon, just as I was talking about the Tervagon there, I was mumbling and stuttering my words because a thought flashed across my mind. I wonder how many of you have actually seen what the Tyranids have been missing out on here. We've locked this Wraith Knight down for multiple turns. She's armed with Psychic Scream. It's a Nova power. It can affect units in close combat. We could have been locking the Wraith Knight down and then screaming at it for the last 3 turns, potentially bringing it down. What a missed opportunity. We'll have a go at it now. So roll to see. We'll film this one here because this could be quite crucial. How many dice do we get? We get 6. Now we don't want to overcook ourselves here. +1 for her psychic power. We'll put everything into Psychic Scream. That's the only power she has. It does go off and it doesn't peril. God, you need 5 6s to try and stop this from going ahead. Nope, so that's going to go ahead here, no problem. Yeah, no, just checking it here. It is a type of power we would need to have used on consecutive turns because leadership 10 here is still going to get an invuln save 5+ and feel no pain, but potentially could grind wounds away. So roll up here, 2d6 +2. So, scored 13, would you believe? So, 3 wounds come through. 5 pluses to save these. Save 1, and then feel no pain will be allowed as well. Failed. 2 wounds. Brilliant result there on the psychic phase. Realising that we could scream at the Wraith Knight, and 2 wounds dealt out. How many wounds does it have in total? 6. So 1/3 killed. Impressive there. Imagine what could have happened if only we'd known and realised the potential that the Tervagon had. So she's not only good, she's good at breeding, but she's good at screaming as well. We'll go on to the shooting phase next for the Tyranids here. Maybe she was screaming as she was breeding. a lot of pain there, pushing out about 50 gaunts, and the scream's so loud that it's beginning to damage the Wraith Knight here. That's a scream there from a very realistic one from James. Right, shooting phase next for the Tyranids on their 4th turn. Alright, so shooting for the Tyranids here. You can see a bit of action taking place down here. So, flicker jump. Only 5 inches, it kept us in range. We only pivoted, so we fired at BS4, firing streams, killed 3 of these just here. They're iron resolved, they're not going to run, but that squad cut down quite badly. That was the exocrine just over there. And then over here, these did flicker jump away from the stinger salvo from the Tervagon, disappearing out of sight, so no damage or no ability to shoot at them. And then here, these were going to fire at them. 2 hits coming through, 2 wounds, but Matt passing his heavy aspect armor save. That's that done. 3 inches here with the Trigon Prime doing a run. Bit of a slow model, this one here. That's sort of out of the, or heading out of the list, but maybe it will improve in 8th edition. We'll have to see. That edition's just around the corner at this point here. So we've got charges here. Ongoing combat just there. Lictors to charge as well. Gaunts potentially to charge also. So, fair few charges to go. Tyranids, there's still some life in them here. We'll go on to assaults. We'll see how effective they can be in close combat now on their 4th turn. Right, so charges have taken place here. It's all gone according to plan so far. So Raveners have made it in. Gaunts have made it into combat here, rolling up a 9. We've moved through cover, and then charging into combat there, moved through cover with the Lictors as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 combats to resolve next for the Tyranids. Right, so resolve this combat here. Raven has 25 attacks on the charge, looking for a 6 at least to try and take off the last hull point from this Wave Serpent. So 3s to hit. That's a good start here. Bounty, that was a 3. They've all hit just there. So it's a good start here. We'll just roll these here, getting 6s. Yeah, that's enough. 4 6s, so the Wave Serpent's brought down. So we've got rending potential here. That one was down the dip. There's another one. So those. So these are the penetrating, well, they could be penetrating hits. Roll here. 3 pluses, they become penetrating hits. 3 of them do. Just rolling to see if any of these cause explodes. Does detonate. That's not good for the Raveners. There's 5 of them. They'll all be contacted. Forced to wound them. 1 wound does come through. 5+ save. No, takes a wound there, but the Wave Serpent is gone. Alright, so next Wave Serpent. See if we can bring that down. Just 8 attacks this time, with the Lictors needing 3s. Very poor indeed. There's 2 hull points remaining on that one. 4+ is good. Triple penetrating hit. One of those rendered actually. We'll roll to see if it becomes... no, it doesn't explode. So erect Wave Serpent as well. Scary moment there, almost didn't do it. But another Wave Serpent begins to billow with smoke. Alright, so combat resolved here. Stomp's taking out about 11 of the gaunts. And then we've flowed around here, just spreading about now. So it'll just take a little bit longer to destroy them. Matt used his sword to kill the last 3 from the previous units. It's just the one large unit that we started the game with. Everything else he's killed so far has been free stuff. It's not been units we've paid for, but he's hacked through them very well indeed. But frustrating there for the Wraith Knight. It's going to be another turn where he's locked down in combat. Then across here, the Hive Crone killed the last Dire Avenger, and then we've gone 6 inches consolidation move into the buildings just there. So that's combat's done. Okay, it's gone well for the Tyranids. They've done well this turn, bit of a bounce back from them. We'll hand over to the Eldar now on their 4th turn, so they need to be careful here. Tyranids, I wouldn't say they're winning, but they've bounced back to some degree, so that's going to make the task for the Eldar that much more difficult. And the Wraith Knight is still locked down in combat just here. So Eldar turn 4 coming up next. So yeah, just discussing the game, Tyranids has sort of cleared the Eldar out of this area here. Doesn't mean that they're gone entirely. There's still a lot of speed left for the Eldar available. Some damage here on the warp spiders, and then sort of Eldar in this area here, but they can easily pick up their troops and move out fast enough onto objectives. The timing of that though, Matt will need to get that just right. If he lands on objectives with Tyranids nearby and the game continues, they could be assaulted. Ravener's a bit out of play now, right in the far corner, but I think it was wise for them to eliminate that Wave Serpent. Mobility units for the Eldar. The warp spiders are quick. There's 2 units of those still left. Both Wave Serpents are very fast as well, so plenty of speed, and the jet bikes here as well, so easily able to grab multiple objectives very quickly indeed. We'll go on to movement now. We'll let Matt move, see what he decides to do. He's just thinking up a plan here at the moment. So we'll just go on to Matt's movement here. He's just thinking how best to carry out this plan. It's just keeping the objectives in mind, but at the same time trying to reduce the Tyranids down as well. Right, so movement here for the Eldar as they try to prize this game back from the Tyranids. So flyer, vector dancing moving to here. Reckon Matt's got the firepower to do this here. Here's a plan, I've seen it, I'm sure you have as well. Detonate the Tervigon, and then her backlash could take out a load of gaunts, and that could free up the Wraith Knight. Once that happens, the Eldar will be in control of the game again. Warp spiders moving in, they can move in, shoot, and then run away. Jet bikes moving in 12 inches as well. Then it's all quiet around here for Eldar, coming across this direction. The Wave Serpent's moved across here. Serpent Shield still available for him. And available for him. We killed the ones that used theirs up. Manning the sandbag emplacements here with the Dire Avengers. And then a little bit out of play here with the Fire Dragons. They're going on foot across in this direction. So that's movement done. Whatever happens in this game, respect for the Tyranids. They've done quite well. They've given the Eldar a tough time, and they could still win. Depends how it goes. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next for the Eldar on their 4th turn. Right, so psychic phase from the jet bikes here. Mind War did go off. We rolled a 1. It was a prime opportunity, but Matt rolled a 1 there as well. And our leadership 10, that protected us. So no damage coming through. But we are on -1. Weapons gun ballistic skill with her. Okay, so that's psychic phase finished. Shooting next for the Eldar on turn 4. Right, so shooting phase here for the Eldar. It's the turn that was needed. They've done well this turn, and we may have seen the Tyranid army break here at this point. So Warp Spiders ganging up on the Tervigon. Damage coming through the jet bikes firing, and also the Crimson Hunter firing down. Just that combined firepower destroyed her. She detonated, taking a number of gaunts with her. These have since broken. They're outside of 12 inches for synapse range, so they have run away just there. So you could get a sense now the Tyranid resistance is beginning to crumble now. And then round here, a shot came through, twin link Bright Lance there, wounding one of the Raveners, but 4+ cover save passed, firing through the building just here. Hive Crone's gone as well, so another devastating blow there for the Tyranids. So then around this side, a shot came through from twin link Bright Lance, wounded one of the Raveners, but we passed the 4+ cover save. Matt just firing through the building there. But you can see the Hive Crone's gone. That was firepower from the Dire Avengers. The Exarch shot here as well after battle focus move as well, and the Hive Crone died. It's just toughness 5. Matt standing a better chance of wounding that, so that one's gone also. So really just for the Tyranids, they are in synapse range, they'll hold, but their days are numbered for sure. They'll be hacked down and destroyed soon. That'll free up the Wraith Knight, and then the rest of the Eldar army beginning to advance as well onto these main objectives. We've got a Trigon Prime here, a bit slow and isolated, and we've got an Exocrine here as well, and Raveners, but they're quite far away. Shooting phase is finished. Combats will just resolve the one with the Wraith Knight continuing to stamp all over the gaunts there. Can you imagine the heaps and heaps of them? There's dozens of them strewn across the streets here, some of them stamped entirely into the ground, others kicked and splattered all over the place. But it's been a scene of carnage here. The Wraith Knight has chewed his way through many of them. We'll get this combat resolved now. Alright, so combat's resolved. There's the gaunts there, heaps and heaps of them here at the side of the table. They have been destroyed. There was about 3 of them left. We broke morale. They were just around here, so out of synapse range. They busted morale and were hunted down. Matt rolling a 6 for his initiative. So just a 1-inch roll there for consolidation, but mission accomplished for him. It's taking him time. He's been locked down. He's received a couple of wounds, but he's chewed his way through all of the gaunts there. So that marks the end of the turn for the Eldar. It's been just that key moment there. Tyranids at a number of points in this game looked like they could do well. They started well. Eldar started to come back. Then Tyranids resurged again, but now they've been broken here by the might of the Eldar. So we'll go on to the next turn for the Tyranids. There's still objectives for them to grab. Time's ticking away. But I think they'll have the speed to do it. But we'll go on to Tyranid turn 5 next. Right, so movement here. We did rally with the gaunts here, rolling a 3 for them, so they've consolidated onto the objective. Exocrine has moved through cover 6 inches. Trigon, we've done a run move, 5 inches moved and then 2, so it's got to there. We're going to back away from the Wraith Knight just there, and then Raveners moving to here to hold this objective, but it's not going to be enough to win the game, sadly. But the Winged Hive Tyrant Commander has reappeared. He's flown back on. Vector striking here, but rolling a 1, so no damage done against the Farseer and Jetbike just there. We're going to Psychic Phase now. The Hive Commander potentially can do something. Oh dear, right, Psychic Phase. Mind War going on here again. Psychic Scream went off, but blocked here with the Farseer and the jet bikes. So good, decent psychic protection there from them. Seeing the value of taking Psychos for Eldar, it really has helped out neutralise all the Tyranid powers. So that psychic phase done. On to shooting next for the Tyranids. Okay, so shooting phase finished. We tried to shoot here at the Warp Spiders. Flicker jump round behind here. Then we couldn't shoot at them with him, so we fired him instead at the Wraith Knight. Caused 1 wound, but Matt passing a 4+ cover save just for the building in the way. Then couldn't shoot with this one here. because it had already run. Raveners not moving, just holding their position. So that is movement done for the Tyranids. We reckon the end is nigh. Oh, we did fire here with the bioelectric pulse, but no damage done there on the jet bikes. So shooting phase finished. No combats, no assaults. We'll go into the next turn. Now turn 5 for the Eldar. Okay, so we're on to movement phase here for the Eldar. Just get the sense now that victory is there, so just manoeuvring in for the final kill here. Tyranids resisted them well. It's taken them up to turn 5 to do it, and there was a scary first few turns for the Eldar. They were on the back foot for sure. But Matt's saying he's designed this list to have some endurance to it, taking things like the Wave Serpents and Wraith Knight and so on, a bit of durability, and then sort of a sting in the tail with some deep striking units like the Warp Spiders, and seems to have played off pretty good. Jet bike's pretty durable as well, although they have been hounded and picked on here in this particular game. So movement here, Fire Dragons on the move, Dire Avengers moving around this direction, Wave Serpent moving up and through here, passing dangerous terrain just there, passing dangerous terrain just here and grabbing this objective there, that's 3 points picked up. Moving out here with these Dire Avengers, looks set to grab that objective just there. And then lining up for a potential charge here with the Wraith Knight against the Trigon Prime. Warp Spiders moving out here, jet bikes moving through as well to secure the objective just there. So looking good here for the Eldar. Vector dancing and turning here with the Crimson Hunter. So we're going to Psychic phase next for the Eldar on turn 5. Right, Psychic phase done. Doom cast on the Winged Hive Tyrant here, so re-rolls to wound when other units shoot at him. In combat as well? Not that that would take place.
Re-rolls to wound, yeah.
Okay, so Psychic phase done. On to shooting now for the Eldar on turn 5. Shooting phase here for the Eldar. It truly has been a mopping up action here. So firing through with the Vector Dancing Crimson Hunter. 4 wounds. We jinked but fouled 3 of them. The Hive Commander came crashing down. So we thought he'd circle around the table here, observe that the battle wasn't going his way and fly off, but no, it's not to be. He's been hunted down here by the Crimson Hunter. So it's appropriate. He comes crashing down there. A run move onto the objective here as well, so picking up 4 points of the Dire Avengers. We went to ground here, but it couldn't save us from a lot of scatterbike shots coming through. 2 of them left. I'll do morale for them actually. Just here. We'll see if they hold. 5, we reckon they'll hold position just there, so they'll deny that objective to the Eldar. Matt potentially may charge the jet bikes anyway. Across here, the Exocrine's been destroyed. That was firepower, loads of wounds being caused by the Warp Spiders. 2 squads of them firing together can let out a devastating amount of shots and wounds. Raveners here, they're fearless. They'll stay where they are because of the Trigon Prime just there in Synapse, but 3 of their number being brought down. That was Serpent Shield being deactivated and firing, and then a Bright Lance instant death kill on one of them as well. That we reckon is it. This one fired Bright Lance as well. So that's shooting phase done. Bit of a mopping up action here at the end. Tyranids are broken and their end has come quite rapidly here on turn 5. So assaults, this one here as well, to try and not entirely, we'll not be able to wipe out the Tyranids. There's some presence of them that will not be affected this turn, but we'll go on to assaults now. Alright, so combat's resolved here, just charged in, no damage on Overwatch, and then killed. They killed 1 each. The Jetbike killed 1, Farseer killed another. Wipeout here, objective secured, 2 points picked up. Didn't make it into combat here with the Wraith Knight against the Trigon Prime. And that is it. So everything's resolved here. So we'll end it there. It's not quite a wipeout here, but a good crushing victory here for the Eldar. They bounced back well from the initial trouble they had with the Tyranids at the start. They dealt with the flies in the end, but it did take them time. And again with the Wraith Knight, he dealt with the Gaunts, but again it took him time to get through. But once the dam burst, the Eldar flowed through and the flood could not be stopped. So objectives then, let's calculate this out. So line breaker first of all, line breaker, slay the warlord first.
No, you got.
We got first blood. Okay, so 2 points for the Eldar. 2, 3, 4, 8 for that one. 8, yeah, 9, 10, 11, And that's it. So 11 points. We got First Blood. 2 points, or 3 points for this one, so that's 4 points.
Line breaker as well you've got.
And Line Breaker, 5 points. Okay, so 11-5 the final score. Sort of respectable enough for the Tyranids. They picked up some points, but they've been hammered here. But really it was the mid-stage of the game onwards where they really began to struggle against the Eldar. But great game. Thanks to Matt Saxby for coming down. Really enjoyed this one. Nice terrain. His forces almost look at home here amongst these Imperial ruins. They battered against the Tyranids. Frustrating for them for the first half of the battle, but then they broke through and broke the Tyranid army, and then it led to a rout in the end, and they've secured a strong victory here. So unique list. Nice debut for them here on the channel, and some very nicely painted miniatures and special conversion work that's been done on some of them as well. But victory here for the Eldar. They defeat the Tyranids on this field of battle. Great game. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Right, so just discussing units of the game here. A number of contenders for both sides. Wraith Knight did okay, breaking through, just kept hammering away, churned for a lot of models. But clamped down really, wasn't able to shine in this game as he was locked down for so long. Warp Spiders did particularly well. I think Matt's going to give it to them. Farseer on the Jetbike did well. A lot of denying of the Tyranid psychic powers. That was impressive. Crimson Hunters, decent amount of firepower from that as well. I think Matt's going to go for the Warp Spiders though. Generally good performance from them. For the Tyranids, the Tervagon did well, supplying all of those gaunts through. That was good. And then the Winged Hive Tyrant, the one with the Twin Link Devours and Brain Leech Worms, effective shooting and psychic abilities from that as well. I think we'll give it to the Tervagon. She did well. She deserves to be congratulated, especially after giving birth to so many gaunts here on the table. That's units of the game for both sides.